Hello, my dear students of grade 9. Welcome to Kavin English Learning channel. Today, we are going to start our Unit 8 of English Pupils book. So please take your pupils book with you. Let's start our lessons today. Our unit is based on success through creativity. What do you mean by success through creativity? அதாவது ஒரு வெற்றி வந்து புத்தாக்கத்தின் மூலமாக கிடைக்கும் வெற்றி. Success through creativity. Okay, come let's see what are the activities we are going to study in this unit. Okay, activity 1, it is an act out. 3 friends are talking about an exhibition that is going to be held in their school. 3 நண்பர்கள் அவங்களோட ஸ்கூல்ல நடைபெற போகிற கண்காட்சியை பற்றி ஒரு கலந்துரையாடல் தான் இப்ப நாங்க பார்க்க போறோம். Lasit says, I've just heard something that will make you all happy. நான் ஒரு விஷயம் ஒன்று கேள்விப்பட்டேனா அது வந்து உங்கள் எல்லாரையுமே சந்தோஷத்துல ஆழ்த்தக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயம் என்று சொல்றார். Abdul ask, what's it, Lasit? என்னது Lasit என்று அப்துல் கேட்கிறார். Lasit says, there's going to be an exhibition to mark the Environment Day, which falls next month. Right, எங்கட ஸ்கூல்ல ஒரு எக்ஸிபிஷன் நடக்க போகுது. அதாவது சுற்றாடல் தினத்தை முன்னிட்டு வார மாதம் அது ஒரு எக்ஸிபிஷன் ஒன்று செய்ய போறாங்கன்னு சொல்லி லசித் சொல்ற. ராதா says, wow, who told you? Wow, who told you? யார் சொன்னது? Lasit says, Samit, whom I met at the canteen a little while ago. நான் இப்பதான் சமித் சொன்னவர் இப்பதான் அவரை கேண்டீன்ல மீட் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன். You know, those who would like to take part in it should give their names to Mrs. Sarojini Veerakon, who is the teacher in charge of the Environment Society. யாரெல்லாம் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ண போறாங்களோ அந்த கண்காட்சியில அவங்க வந்து அவங்களுடைய பேரை வந்து மிஸ்ஸஸ் சரோஜினி வீரகோன் அவதான் டீச்சர் இன்சார்ஜ் ஆஃப் த என்வாயர்ன்மெண்ட் சொசைட்டி அவருக்கு கொடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லி சொல்ற. Faraz says, where are they going to have it? எங்க அது நடக்க போகுது, எங்க வைக்க போறாங்க அது எக்ஸிபிஷன் எங்க நடத்த போறாங்கன்னு கேக்குற. Lasit says, in the school main hall where we had a blood donation camp last month. எங்கட ஸ்கூல் மெயின் ஹால்ல நடக்க போகுது. எங்கட லாஸ்டா நாங்க blood donation camp செய்தோம் அதே இடத்துல தான் என்று சொல்ற. Radha says, let's present something at the exhibition, shall we? Right, நாங்க ஏதாவது எக்ஸிபிஷனுக்காக செய்வோமா என்று ராதா கேட்கிறார். Lasit says, that would be great. We need to come up with something really good. Yes, அது வந்து மிகவும் ஒரு உண்மையான ஒரு கிரேடான விஷயம், என்ன அற்புதமான விஷயம். நாங்க ஏதாவது செய்யத்தான் வேண்டும்னு சொல்லி லசித் சொல்றார். ராதா says, yes. What about upcycling? Upcycling அப்படி என்ன மாதிரின்னு கேட்கிறார் ராதா. Upcycling, that's a term which I've never heard before. இந்த upcycling என்ற விஷயத்தை நான் முதலே எங்கேயுமே கேட்டதில்லையே என்று சொல்லி ஃபராஸ் சொல்றார். We will learn about this word upcycling in the next lesson. So please role play this dialogue among your school friends. Let's see the question part now. Okay, activity 2. Read the above conversation and answer the questions given below. First one. What is the event mentioned? What is the event mentioned? An exhibition. ஒரு கண்காட்சியை பற்றி. Who told Lasit about it? யார் லசித்துக்கு அதை பற்றி சொன்னது? Samit. The correct answer is Samit. Why is it being held? அது எதற்காக நடத்தப்படுது? To mark the Environmental Day. அது சுற்றாடல் தினத்துக்காகத்தான் அது ஒழுங்குபடுத்தப்படுது. To mark the Environmental Day. What was held in the school main hall last month? போன மாதம் ஸ்கூல் மெயின் ஹால்ல என்ன நடைபெற்றது? blood donation camp. இரத்த தான முகாம் என்ன? blood donation camp. What does Radha suggest? ராதா என்ன யோசனை முன்வைக்கிறா? To present something at the exhibition. ஏதாவது முன்வைப்போண்ட வெப்பம், இந்த கண்காட்சியில எங்களால முடிஞ்ச ஒரு முன்வைப்ப வெப்பம் என்று அவ ஒரு ஆலோசனையை முன்வைக்கிறார் ராதா. So the correct answer is to present something at the exhibition. Okay, my dear students, please write down this question and answers also in your exercise book. We'll move to the next activity now. Next one is the learning point, relative pronouns. Relative pronouns பத்தி தான் இப்ப இந்த சார்ட்ல சொல்லப்பட்டிருக்கு. The highlighted words in the conversations are called relative pronoun. Relative pronoun தான் highlight பண்ணி காட்டியிருக்கிறாங்க. Subject, object, possessive. People, personal, things, non-personal. Subjectல வந்து who, that. Object, whom or that. Possessive, whose. That is denoted for people or personal. For things or non-personal things, which or that for object also, and possessive also, whose. In addition, we use where with nouns that refer to a place and when with the nouns that refer to a time. where நாங்க பிளேஸ்க்கு யூஸ் பண்றோம், அதே மாதிரி when என்று சொல்லி டைமுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றோம். A relative clause, for example, a clause that begins with a relative pronoun gives us information about the noun that comes before it. There's going to be an exhibition to mark the Environment Day, which falls next month. Here, the exhibition will be held on next month, but there are going to be an exhibition to mark the Environment Day. That is the information about that comes before it. So, the underlined relative clause tells us something about the Environment Day. இந்த relative clause வந்து எதை பற்றி சொல்லுது? Environmental Day பற்றி சொல்லுது. அது வந்து வார மாதம் நடத்தப்பட போகுது என்று சொல்லப்படுது. There are two types of relative clauses, defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. Relative clauses வந்து நாங்க defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses என்று ரெண்டா பிரிக்கிறோம். We use a defining relative clause to indicate which particular person or thing we are talking about. The boy who came first in the essay competition is in my brother's class. Here you can notice the example. The boy who came first in the essay competition is in my brother's class. The relative clause who came first in the essay competition identifies the noun coming before it. In other words, without the relative clause, it would be unclear which boy is being talked about. We use a non-defining relative clause to give additional, non-essential information about a person or thing. Our class teacher, who always comes to school early, is very kind and hardworking. The relative clause who always comes to school early merely gives some additional information about our class teacher. In other words, it is not essential for the sentence to be meaningful. It is important to remember that we should use a comma before a non-defining relative clause. நாங்க அப்ப defining relative clauseக்கு முன்னால comma யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டோம். non-defining relative clauseக்கு முன்னால தான் நாங்க comma யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். I borrowed this novel from Suresh, who lives down our lane. If the noun defining relative clause comes in the middle of the sentence, when we should use a comma both before it and after it. Suresh, who reads a lot, loves learning new words. We do not use the relative pronoun that with non-defining relative clause. Now it is clear for you how to identify the defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause and where to put comma when it is necessary. Okay. Activity 3, it is a grammar activity. Fill in the blanks with a relative pronoun given in the box. உங்களுக்கு relative pronouns வந்து பாக்ஸ்க்குள்ள தந்திருக்குது. அதை வச்சுக்கொண்டு நீங்க இப்போ the fill in the blanks செய்ய போறீங்க. A surgeon is a doctor who performs operations. A surgeon is a doctor who performs operations. Second one. A thermometer is an instrument which is used to measure temperature. A thermometer is an instrument which is used to measure temperature. Nizam, who is one of my close friends, rang me yesterday. Nizam, who is one of my close friends, rang me yesterday. Fourth one. I've got a cousin whose hobby is gardening. I've got a cousin whose hobby is gardening. Fifth one. Tell me a time when we can meet. Tell me a time when we can meet. Sixth one. It's an old movie whose title I have forgotten. It's an old movie whose title I have forgotten. The factory where my uncle works is going to close down. The factory where my uncle works is going to close down. My friend Ravi, whom we met at the library yesterday, reads at least 2 books every month. My friend Ravi, whom we met at the library yesterday, reads at least 2 books every month. Okay, activity 4, it is a grammar activity. Add comma where necessary. Remember, not all sentences need them. நாங்க ஏற்கனவே படிச்சிருக்கிறோம். எல்லா சென்டென்ஸுக்கு முன்னாலே நீங்க comma போட வேண்டியதில்ல. என்ன? இப்போ நாங்க பாப்போம். This is the dictionary which I bought yesterday. This is the dictionary which I bought yesterday. Here you don't want to put any commas. Second one. My youngest brother, comma, who is in grade 4, comma, can sing well. Here you can put comma. My youngest brother, comma, who is in grade 4, comma, can sing well. Third one. The children's film Handaya, comma, which was directed by Titus Totawate, comma, won an international award. The children's film Handaya, comma, which was directed by Titus Totawate, comma, won an international award. Fourth one. Do you know the boy who is standing near the gate? Do you know the boy who is standing near the gate? Here you don't want to put any commas. Fifth one. Rice, comma, which is grown in many Asian countries, comma, is the staple food of Sri Lanka. Rice, comma, which is grown in many Asian countries, comma, is the staple food of Sri Lanka. Sixth one. Sujita, comma, whose father works in an embassy, comma, has a large collection of foreign stamps. Sujita, comma, whose father works in an embassy, comma, has large collection of foreign stamps. Okay, seventh one. The rice which we had for lunch today was very good. Here you don't want to use any commas. Okay, eighth one. Sujita is the girl whose father works in an embassy. Here we don't need to put any comma because this is a defining relative clause. So next one, Show me the place where the accident took place. Here also we don't need to put any comma because this is also defining relative clause. Raj likes visiting Bandaravela where his uncle has a small tea factory. Here you can put comma after Bandaravela. Raj likes visiting Bandaravela, comma, where his uncle has a small tea factory. Here this is non-defining relative clause. So now you all know how to identify the relative clause and non-defining relative clause, defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause as well. Okay, my dear students, please write down these question and answers in your exercise book. Okay, my dear students, hope you all enjoyed and understood today's lessons very well. So please study carefully and write all the activities in your exercise book. I will meet you soon with an interesting lesson later. Bye.